going to take your Frantic Fuchsia and a sculpting form 3D brush. What you can do to help you with sizing is use the back of the form to draw out the size of the bow that you would like to make. Get it spot on, you can do that, and then if you look on this side now you can see this indentation. You can work with that shape. The only thing that you need to do different is you need to mirror this shape here. So that may be the size of the bow you want, but you're going to mirror the shape of that. And all of this section and this section will all be acrylic, and then you basically fold it over. Pick up your bead. I like to do it as dry as I can because I want to do it quick. So imagine if a dicky bow was open, those two bulbous shapes that you see that run along that tie, that's the kind of shape that you're looking for. You want to do it thin. The thinner it is, the easier it will move when you come to folding and shaping. If it's too thick, it won't fold and shape very well. Test if you can pick it up just by rubbing your 3D brush underneath, that you can release it from the paper. And you're going to gently fold it over. If you wet the contact area, it'll stick a little bit easier. You can also get some peri tweezers into your powder. And give it a little pinch, which will create some folds, so it'll look more realistic. Going into your powder is going to stop you from sticking to that bow. So you need to look at your shape and think, yeah, that's going to fold in half. Is it going to look similar to that when it's folded in half? Sweep underneath just to release it from the backing paper. Gently push it over. Now we need to connect them together. You're going to take one off, get a little bead the same colour. Meet them up. Now we want a little space in the middle. Don't bunch them too close, because next we're going to make the ribbon that sort of ties them together, that comes over the top. You could just leave it like that, but we're just going to make it look even more realistic. You could put a stone in here if you want to put some stones. So you want a little bead. First of all, spread it out. And bring it in. By bringing it in, you force the bulk of the product at the sides. So what you want it is thin in the middle, and then you want bulk product here. Doesn't need to be really long. It needs to be longer than it is wider. Just wet in the middle of that, just to help it to stick. Pick that up. Fold it over, push it under, and under. And because I wet the acrylic with the brush, wet it with some acrylic liquid, it will stick to it nicely. Just going to let that dry now. So now this is dry, we're going to attach some chain. So we're going to take it off and turn it over. So we've got the flat side to us. Get your chain, we're going to cut 2 different lengths. Use some old cuticle nippers. I have one about yay big. And then we're going to have one slightly smaller. So they're going to fall. Like this, you're going to put that one in the middle. And this one is going to go on the outside of that one. So that's why we need 2 different lengths. You want clear acrylic. On one side. I do admit this is pretty tricky. You get one side of your smaller chain and then the other side of your longer chain. So your longer chain's going on the outside, shorter one's going on the inside. And I'm just going to put a little bead on top of that just to seal those in. Same again on this side. It's not too wet, this bead isn't, it's going to set quicker than you might think. Shorter chain on the inside, longer chain on the outside. Then we're going to seal that in. Now some of you might think this is unwearable, but it is really wearable. Loads of my clients wear them all the time. I'm going to show you how to make it wearable. So you've got a bead there. This is purely acting as like a little bit of glue. So we're popping that straight on there. If you just left it like that, you would probably lose it. So we're going to make it a little bit more wearable now. We're going to turn it to the side. And this part here, we're going to put acrylic into it so it supports it. So you don't want it touching the skin, you just want it sweeping up onto that bow. And the other side. So straight in here. By doing this, you're stopping it being catched because there was a big gap down there before and you could have caught things in it. So now we've filled that in, it's hidden, so it doesn't look a mess, but it's giving loads of support. So if I look down the barrel of this nail now, I can see that I've got this support all here underneath. One other thing you can do is you can drop a bead underneath the loops. Right in the middle. Don't let it interfere with the outer part. So just let it fall into the loops. Now if you think, oh, it's still too big, I couldn't wear that, it's too dramatic, then you can always make an itsy bitsy teeny weeny one. So with this bow, we did exactly the same, we made the same shapes, we folded it over, but instead of making the ribbon fold in the middle, like this one, we just added a little stone to it. It's really quite cute. Now you could leave it like that, or you could then add a little bit of paint onto your bows, which is what I'm going to do. So I've got a bit of foil here, a bit of silver foil. Just going to get a little bit of white acrylic paint Bit of pink. Dotting tool. And start with the pink. Little polka dots. Just do the same on this little tiny one. And then we're going to get the white and go into a tiny dot inside the pink polka dots. Now to keep that paint on, we're not going to put a gel sealer or anything like that. We're just going to brush over with some brush-on glue. You need to make sure that that paint is bone dry before you do this. If you start to brush the glue on to the paint without it being dry, it's just going to smear everywhere and then really ruin the bow. So I've given that about a minute to dry. If you were doing a full set, the paint would be dry by the time you finished, but I just wanted to make sure that was completely dry before I put the brush-on glue on. So it'll act as a barrier so it doesn't get washed off. I'm not putting top coat on because I don't want the gel sealer to take away the detail of it. What it can do is it can fill in little recesses and things like that, and it'll just make it look too flat and too plasticky, and that's not what I want. I want it to look like it has been made out of acrylic, because it has. So once that's dry, I'm going to pop some passion fruit cuticle oil on, replenish that skin. And there you are, you've got two different levels there. You've got a more difficult bow, and then you've got a little bit easier bow on that one, and an easy fade. So that's your 3D bow. Have a go.